Today, I'm gonna let you in on a little secret. The effortless French girl look, not actually that effortless. So here's the thing, I hear all the time, people are always messaging me, how do I get that effortless French girl look? But the thing is, that look, the effortless look that everyone is looking for, actually requires a lot of effort. Or there are just certain realities of dressing here that are based upon, French cultural and lifestyle differences. So in today's video, I'm going to talk to you on exactly why the French girl look isn't as effortless as you might seem, and we'll also discuss some of the cultural and lifestyle differences that make it seem so effortless. The very stereotypical French girl look actually requires a lot of effort. And I say that because this look, in many ways, what I'm noticing is a very kind of aristocratic look, okay? So it's a very aristocratic style of dressing. And frankly, it's kind of like French old money kind of style of dressing. And so as a result, you see a lot of women in the society, I've noticed, kind of running around trying to imitate that look. And I'm not saying that that's a bad thing, but I'm just saying that that really is kind of a reality of it, is that you see a lot of women kind of trying to impersonate this look of what a French girl looks like. And when you're trying to impersonate something that maybe isn't truly or authentically you, that requires a whole lot of effort. And so as a result, I do think you see a lot of people putting a lot of effort into some of these French girl looks. Now, the second reason that I think the French girl effortless look actually requires a lot of effort is due to something that I have found really quite particular about French society. And that is that French society really expects conformity. So in America, we are very individualistic, everyone gets to do what they want, crazy, crazy, crazy. That's fun and that works for us. But what I'm noticing in French society is that conformity is really kind of the norm. It starts very early on, kind of in schools, and then it really continues. People are really meant to kind of conform and really sort of, think about society as a whole, it's less about the individual, more as the group. I'm not saying that that's a bad thing, I'm just saying that it's different than kind of the American approach. But as a result of that, you see that conformity even in a lot of dressing. So recently I was out, I was shopping, it's the solds period, so I was looking to see if I could get a good deal. And a lot of the things I was seeing in the stores were literally just the same. Like every brand had tons of dresses with little flowers on them. Every brand had, cute shirts with nice little flowers on them and little bibs. This was what I was seeing in literally every store that I was going through, every department store. Very rarely was there something that was really different and a little bit off, a little off the mark. And that's because French society expects very much kind of this conformity, this fitting in. And while maybe if you're used to it, that works for you and it doesn't require a lot of effort, but from an outsider's perspective, from an American perspective, that requires effort. It requires effort to specifically kind of choose maybe not to branch out and experiment with personal style and instead to kind of stick in sort of one little box or in one kind of little place. And so as a result, that's why I say that I think that there is effort in it, because there is a requirement to conform. There's a requirement to fit in, whether that's a conscious choice or an unconscious choice. And so there is effort when you conform. There is effort when you're not just kind of doing whatever you want to do and wearing what you want to wear. There is effort in that. And so that's why I say that it does actually require effort. There are other reasons why French style and this French effortlessness look is also kind of just something that is a reality based upon life in particularly a big city like Paris, okay? So the first reason is for the plain and simple reason, so the first reason is for the plain and simple fact that Parisian apartments are small and they have little teeny tiny closets. Okay, so as a result, French women just like, you just can't put a lot of clothes in them, okay? When I moved in my apartment, there is one closet in the whole apartment, and that's for a 2-bedroom apartment. So what I had to do is I had to buy closets. I bought closets for my apartment, okay? And this is the thing, is that French apartments, they have these super tiny closets, or, you know, they don't have closets at all. So because of that, just as a result, just because of lifestyle, you can't have a lot of clothes, you can't have a lot of variety. You really just have a capsule wardrobe. Like you live by a capsule wardrobe by default. And when you're living by a capsule wardrobe by default, of course it's going to be a bit more effortless and to put on an outfit, because you only have 3 shirts to select from, or 5 shirts, or whatever else, right? There are only so many outfit combinations that you can make. So it lends itself to an effortlessness that isn't kind of really part of, I would say, American culture. American culture, we have big space. America is huge. America is huge. We have lots of space. The space is everywhere. So as a result, we have kind of the space and the ability to be able to have like huge closets, right? I grew up in my childhood bedroom. I grew up in my parents' house with a walk-in closet. It was so funny. I was having dinner recently with some friends, some, some European, some American, some French. And literally, one of my friends turned to me and he was like, well, you clearly have a lot of clothes, so what's your closet situation? I was like, dude, the closet situation is a real problem. And I just said, like, he goes, then goes, would you just dream of having a walk-in closet? I was like, yes, I grew up with a walk-in closet. I would dream of that. I would love to have a walk-in closet again. It was so funny, but the French people at the table go, what's a walk-in closet? And I was like, it's a room just for your clothes. And they looked at us like we were insane. They were like, you have a room just for your clothes? I was like, yes, of course you do. They couldn't fathom it. I just say this to say that, this is a really huge cultural difference between living in the US and living in France, is just the complete and total lack of closet space. And so as a result, there are just fewer items you can put in there, so there are fewer items you can select from. So it kind of makes it, frankly, I think, easier to get dressed. If you only have, 5 pairs of pants, 5 shirts, and 5 skirts and 5 dresses, it's going to be pretty easy for you to get dressed every single morning. So yeah. So that is one of just the cultural and lifestyle, I would say, realities that make kind of this French girl look, I think, appear so effortless. And that's why I think if you really want to have the most effortlessness, maybe you need to embrace a capsule wardrobe. But I'm not promoting a capsule wardrobe. Don't worry about that. We can talk about that later. Another reason why I would say that there is really a cultural difference that makes the French girl look appear so effortless when really it's not, is due to kind of the French approach to shopping and accumulation. So in the US, I really think we have very much a shopping culture. We're always being bombarded with sales. We're always being bombarded with advertisement. I mean, it's product placement, all of this stuff. It's really everywhere. And I didn't notice it that much until I came back to the US after kind of COVID had happened and spending 2 years in France kind of in lockdowns and whatnot. I was amazed, like, how much advertisement there was on television, how much advertisement there just was everywhere. It was like constantly in your face, and it was sales and sales and sales and 2 for 1 and this here and blah blah blah. And I just realized, like, French culture is so different from that. It does not kind of romanticize, encourage this constant consumption that I think is very, very normal in the US. So take, for example, sales even. In France, we have sales like twice a year, really. You know, you have the summer solds and you have the winter solds, and that's really it. Everything else is just kind of a little dabble here and there, but like nothing like what the solds are. The solds are really the big time to sell and to sell. And as one of my French friends explained to me, she goes, the purpose of a sale is to get rid of extra stock. It's to get rid of things that so that you can bring in new things. So that's why you really only need 2 sales a year. And when she said that, I was like, oh my gosh, that's such a brilliant way to think about it. Because in the US, I think of a sale as an opportunity to shop, to go get something on a discount, to go get a good deal. But here, you know, the view of a sale is to get rid of extra stock. And so you just buy some things that you're needing and that's it. It's just two very different mindsets and approaches to having things and accumulating things. And so as a result, you find here, like, people just, it's not this excessive nonstop shopping that I think you see in the US. So the last reason I think that the French girl look appears so effortless, even though it's not, and again, I think this is based upon just lifestyle differences between, you know, France and the US, is because what I'm noticing is that a lot of French women really do wear a uniform. So let me explain what I mean by that. When I say they wear a uniform, I know I've talked about in a prior video that, you know, French women really believe in wearing what you want to wear when you want to wear it. 100%, that is like very true. I've very much noticed that about like French style in general. But part of that, and kind of like within that, is this concept of wearing what looks good on you on repeat. So for example, if you take a look at some French Instagrammers, and these are just some of my favorites that I'm showing you, these Instagrammers, you'll notice that a lot of what they're wearing in each photo is very similar. They really have like a very unique and individual sense of style, and it's their style. They just know what looks good on their body, and that's what they're wearing. So take Jeanne Damas, sorry if I mispronounced the name, but Jeanne Damas, she wears, you know, a blazer, she wears, you know, denim and these low ankle cropped boots. Like that's what she wears, and that's like kind of her style uniform, and you can see that that's what she feels comfortable in, that's what she thinks is good on her body, so she just kind of wears that on repeat. She wears little skirts with little sweaters on repeat. There is a look that you will find that a lot of women here have their uniform. They're aware of what looks good on their body, they're aware of what flatters them, and so they just kind of wear that, and that's what you're going to see in their closet. So there may be kind of only a few pieces in there, but these are the pieces that always consistently look good in them, and so they're always consistently wearing them. And I think that that is a really, really huge kind of little lifestyle difference. Is there's a very often there's a very strong like sense of just either personal style or frankly like a strong sense of what flatters a body and what flatters their particular body type, and they just stick with that. And there's nothing wrong with that. Last but not least, and I really think that this is something that probably applies to a lot of these kind of different quote-unquote styles. I was in London just this past week, if you saw that vlog, and I ended up having lunch with someone, and she is originally from Finland, and she was telling me that, you know, the Scandinavian look that people so often romanticize and talk about it, she goes, it's the reason why women in Scandinavia dress like that and have these very minimalistic, basic and plain looks is because they just don't have access to really nice clothing. Like, this is the only clothing that is available to them. They don't have access to more of it. It's just too hard to get. So as a result, that's why it looks the way that it looks. It's so minimalist. It's so kind of plain. And it really got me thinking that a lot of these, looks, aesthetics that we see, that we might be drawn to, there are very real cultural and lifestyle differences at play that kind of lead to that look and lead to that aesthetic. And then all of a sudden, the internet takes it and is like, oh, this is how your house should look. Everyone should have a beige house, right? With beige sofas. I don't know how people have beige houses. But I really think it's important for us to really think about it. In the US, particularly in the US, we have a lot of access to designers. We have a lot of access to clothes. We have a lot of access to just the ability to shop, frankly. And then on top of that, there is also very much a culture and society of individuality and expressing yourself and being yourself, etc. And as a result, there's a lot of freedom in that. And with that freedom and having all of those fashion and style choices, inherently fashion isn't going to feel effortless. It's going to feel like it requires a lot of effort. I once heard someone say that, fashion isn't supposed to be effortless. I don't know if I necessarily agree with that. I do believe you can get to a point where getting dressed in the morning isn't this, laborious task that really kind of wears you out. I really do think that you can get to that point, but I think it requires having a very strong sense of what your personal style is, and really developing that and cultivating that and nurturing that in an environment where you have access to experiment. And that's a wonderful thing, and I think that that's fun. And so while the French girl look may not be effortless, I don't really think any fashion style or aesthetic is as effortless as we like to make it seem. So have fun, put in the effort, experiment. Well, there you have it. I hope you've enjoyed hearing some of the reasons why, the French effortless look isn't actually that effortless, and also some of the cultural differences that play into kind of making it appear as if it is actually effortless. Please let me know your thoughts in the comments. I would really love to continue the conversation down there. I'm also going to be proposing some other videos that you can watch on Parisian style, etc. Because, it's still fun to learn about a different style and from another culture, right? I personally I like fashion, so I like it. Thank you so much for watching. Please remember to subscribe if you've enjoyed the video, and I look forward to seeing you again soon. Take care. Bye.